Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, we have a little bit of a delay in the Salem's Lot film, which is a surprise to me because I didn't even know they were doing a Salem's Lot film. Now, I find that a bit strange. I grew up with the movie, but they actually did a miniseries. So they originally did the miniseries, and they edited a version of it into a film for international audiences, and that's what I grew up with. So you can imagine my shock one day when I buy the DVD of Salem's Lot, the American DVD of Salem's Lot, and find out it was a 3-hour miniseries, and there's an extra hour of footage I never saw. So that was just bizarre to see this film I grew up with just expanding into a miniseries. And then, of course, it's impossible to go back and watch the movie because you're aware of everything that's missing, even though you know what's supposed to be there. So you can kind of watch it in a way, but, not like if you hadn't seen it, but if you're familiar with all the other footage, you sort of know what's missing, but it's still missing, so you can't really watch it. And then they did a mini-series, actually filmed here in Melbourne, which I didn't realise, which I wish I knew, because I might have been an extra or something at least. But it was over before I even knew it was filming here. Same thing, they took the time in a miniseries to explore, the novel, which is fairly long and involved. So the idea of going back to a movie length, because just editing the miniseries back to movie length was difficult enough for me to sort of watch. I can't imagine them trying to make the film in a movie length, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, like in the first place, let alone after we've already had more expanded versions of... So yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work. It's being written and directed by Gary Duberman, based, of course, on the 1975 novel. Which is good because they could have just used the name and it could be really any story, but at least they are at least sticking to the original story. It's going to be produced by New Line Cinema, Atomic Monster Productions, and Vertigo Entertainment. It's going to star Lewis Pullman, Mackenzie Lee, Bill Camp, Spencer Treat Clark, Palo Asbeck, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, John Benjamin Hickley, Alfred Woodard, and William Sadler. I know both of them. The plot centres on a writer, of course, who returns to his hometown of Jerusalem's Lot for inspiration but finds vampires. It's been produced by Warner Brothers and it's going to be released April 21st, 2023. So I think it was supposed to be released late 2022. I think I did hear something about them doing a film, but I didn't really pay any attention to it. Now, the other thing that's kind of interesting is they're doing a prequel to it called Welcome to Derry. At first, I kind of was excited for this. I heard about this a while ago. They had a writer's room. They've got the writer's room set up. They had a bunch of red balloons outside the office to sort of announce that they were starting to write the series, which was, I think, like 3 weeks ago. It's being done by HBO Max. It's being written by Jason Fuchs. I think that's how you say it. Fuchs. And executive producers Andy and Barbara Massetti, I think that's how you say that. Oh God, too many names to pronounce. From their Double Dream Productions company, Warner Brothers Television is the studio. Of course, based on the film franchise, which was a different version of the novel from the original movies, the original miniseries in that movie. So it was always a bit strange to me. I loved the idea of it coming back 28 years later. That was amazing. But to not do a new story with new kids, to redo the old story, they could have basically just redone the same story but with new kids and everything, so at least you had that generational shift. But instead they just sort of reimagined the same characters because I guess the idea of writing new characters and writing a new story was too much for anyone in Hollywood to be that creative. So they just retreaded the original novel. And now they've got the problem that they want to do a prequel which will be set in the 60s, which is going to be set at the same time as the original 80s one. The 1990 miniseries. So I don't quite see how they're going to manage that and make that work. If they had perhaps gone the generation before, which would have been in the 40s or 50s or something, 28 years before 1962. What would that have been, 40 something? I don't know, I can't do math. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. It'll be interesting the 60s aesthetic is always good, but yeah, it's like, it's kind of clashing with the original version. The prequel to the new version is kind of clashing with the original version. And had they just done a new story, they could have gone back and done a story around the original characters from the original miniseries, or maybe just, like I said, gone a generation before that, because it's supposed to be all about Pennywise and his origin story. And I'm not quite sure how interesting that's going to be if we just spend 5 or 8 episodes following him walk around, then in the end he turns into Pennywise. We're going to have a new set of kids, a new bunch of people, being stalked by Pennywise, and then it is sort of just like telling the story again. So I don't know if it's going to work, but yeah, it's coming. It's going to happen. They're writing it, but we'll see. I'm kind of interested, but I'm not really optimistic, because I don't really think it's going to gel with within the whole franchise. They should have thought of it more like a franchise than just individual projects, which is what they've kind of done. Okay, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.